Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we'll take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we'll take a look at people's opinion on such issues. I am Osime. Two passengers, two incidents, two punishments, and a nation asking if justice still has wings. Legendary singer KWAM1, accused of threatening a pilot and physically blocking an aircraft on the tarmac, had his 6-month ban quietly reduced to 1. Then in a twist that still defies belief, he was handed an ambassadorial role for a Lagos aviation safety campaign, a position meant to symbolize discipline, responsibility, and public trust. So the man once accused of disrupting the skies now stands as their poster child. Comfort Emmanson, on the other hand, a name few know until her humiliation became public, was accused of hitting and kicking crew and security. Her punishment was far darker. She was stripped of her dignity, paraded before strangers, thrown into a jail, and left to bear the shame alone. She has only just been released. If Comfort's offense was lighter than KWAM1's in the scheme of things, why did she suffer the heavier blow? Why was her name dragged through the mud while his was polished into a badge of honor? In aviation safety, should aviation safety be so sacred? But it should be so sacred, but so should fairness. And when the runway becomes a stage for privilege, justice itself is grounded. I have 3 guests today on the show. Ohundayo is a 30-year aviation veteran, IATA certified expert, General Secretary of the Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, founder of the Aviation Policy and Strategy Forum, and board member at Zenith Travel and Consult. Joseph Edgar, our regular in the house, is an accomplished investment banker, prolific author, and one of Nigeria's most influential theatre producers who seamlessly blends finance with the arts, building an extensive portfolio and a network of over 10,000 high-profile contacts across diverse sectors. And last but not the least is Ademiluyi, a public interest lawyer. He is convener of the Movement for Justice and Secretary of Radical Agenda Move in the Nigerian Bar Association. He is the lawyer representing Comfort Emmanson. So we'll take a short break, but stay with us. Perspectives will return in just a moment. My guests here are here today to give us a very deep insight and wide perception or perception of what we're to expect and what the public thinks. So let me start with you, Ayodele. Welcome to Perspectives.
It's a pleasure to be on here.
Okay. So first,
Nigerians.
Good. First, how did you get involved in the case? And after speaking to Comfort post-arrest, can you share her side of the story?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. As we all know, Nigerians were bombarded with, first of all, the viral videos of the KWAM1 scenario. And we are yet to even get over that. We were bombarded with the viral videos of the harassment, molestation, subsequent arrests and arraignments, and later remand of Comfort Emmanson. As public interest lawyers, as social justice lawyers, we viewed our organizations as the Movement for Justice and the Radical Agenda Movement in the Nigerian Bar Association. We received those two contrasting social scenarios with a lot of concern. So we decided to pay a visit to Comfort Emmanson herself, because there's the principle of fair hearing, which is part of natural justice, if you ask me, in any scenario. Even in the holy books, you saw that Almighty God asked Eve, then asked Adam what exactly went wrong at that level before asking the serpent. So I had to pay a visit to her. That's at the Female Correctional Center at Kirikiri. I got there around 2:10. Then the prison doors were opened around 10 a.m. on the dot. So I was the first visitor to the Female Correctional Center on that fateful day, 12th day of August 2025. So she was brought us from her set for discussion with me on the basis that, of course, we are offering her legal representation pro bono publico. So at that level, of course, she was still bearing the brunt of that emotional trauma of the entire episode that happened the day before. But there was a relief in her retina that there was still someone out there who could check out in the prison custody. And when I introduced myself and asked her for her side of the story, her mind really unburdened, and she began to recount what really transpired on that fateful day. She told me that she's a student of Heritage Polytechnic in Okot Abasi in Akwa Ibom State. Of course, she's an indigenous of Akwa Ibom State, and that she, went to the airport at Uyo, and the flight was meant to be from Uyo to Lagos. In her estimation, she said, ordinarily the flight is usually for 30 to 35 minutes. That our usual custom is to order a ride on one of these e-hailing apps for a ride from Ikeja, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, to the island where she stays. And so at that point, that Juliana, the air hostess, Juliana, the principal actor, came close to her and told her to put her phones on flight mode. That in fact, the main passenger beside her, who has even come out to give a written corroboration to that account, was help her to hold the second phone. That she cancelled that ride immediately and put her phones on flight mode. And she thought that was the end of the whole drama until the aircraft landed at Murtala Mohammed International Airport. So she got off from her seat and she was about disembarking. At the point of disembarkation was where the same Juliana blocked her.
So let me ask, so there was no other exchange between she and Juliana apart from that put off your phone scenario?
Very well.
Okay, go ahead.
Very well. So at that point, Juliana blocked her. Then she made a very important point to me that, of course, we have all seen all the viral videos of being dragged, being molested with that particular dressing she was putting on at that time, that many people have half-clad dressing, that was not really her actual dressing, that it was Juliana that tore that dressing to that point. That in fact, in actual fact, she had a white dressing on her and a black leggings and even a cardigan with the zip up to the neck.
So how did this now get to the stage where, because at the time when they showed that picture, she was only wearing that bodysuit. She wasn't wearing a jacket.
Thank you so much for that question. That was the next follow-up question I wanted to ask her. The prison officials, I think, woke up that someone has entered the resurrection tomb and that she would leave the female correctional center at that point.
But was that legal?
Well, that's why I decided, right from even...
For them to have done that?
Right from point one, we had a very clear conception of how this will play out. So we knew that the next step would be for us to approach the court by way of a public interest matter, which we have filed. That's Ademiluyi versus President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in which I joined more than 18 respondents, including the Attorney General of the Federation, who has kept mute from the beginning of the two aviation dramas till now, who has not even, in fact, we are going to approach that subsequently. The Federal Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Keyamo, in his natural person, because his ex-handle has become a notorious platform for sharing all kind of misinformation and all of that, and even defamation and all of that, one-sided truths, quote unquote, and all of that. Then the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force, who have refused, neglected, and failed to arrest and arraign and prosecute KWAM1 till now. So then, of course, we also joined the Ibom here and their owners, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, the Attorney General of Akwa Ibom State, and of course, Ibom here as a corporate personality. Then we joined the Nigerian Correctional Services, who have violated my right to freedom of expression because I'm freedom of movement. Because actually at that point, I was having a client-lawyer conversation with her. And I'm protected by the Constitution. I'm protected by the Chapter 4 of the Constitution as to freedom of expression. That was abruptly disrupted, and we have joined issues with all these state and non-state actors for the court to properly adjudicate, and determine, because we are already aboard the speedy flight to the abyss. I think the Canadian jurist has put it better. We are now in a state of social terrorism.
Okay. Let me get to Olumide. KWAM1 face life consequences and comfort faced harsh ones, as general public believe. So how should NCAA and AFSEC have handled this? And how does appointing a recently sanctioned person as an ambassador affect the nation's industry image?
Well, thank you for that question.
Aviation's industry image.
Well, I tell you, these are trying times for the industry. Something failed there, and that's what has failed there is that the protocols in place, because you cannot send someone to court almost immediately and jail, and the other person is walking away.
Exactly.
And
being made an ambassador.
And I can tell you, actually, what we are seeing in ourselves now are KWAM0, KWAM1, and KWAM2. Because it started with the Senator Oshiomhole, who blocked the entry of the terminal and stopped airpeace from boarding passengers. That video went viral, and when the industry was calling for its prosecution, the minister came up and said he wants the NCAA to investigate. Up till today,
nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. And thereafter, I think that was when I buoyed KWAM1 to now stand in front of the aircraft and said, yes, I can hold this aircraft down. And then the last one from
and
Comfort.
of course, the non-entity, the one that is less known, is the one that bears the biggest brunt.
The guy with that.
So don't you even think that even now making KWAM1 an ambassador, that's even better, even further twists the knife?
Sincerely, I think it's not right, and I think, like the lawyer said, there's so much this eager tend to drive traffic your Twitter handle, and then throw everything that has to do with the industry goes there first, so that everybody can run there to read it. If a man who we said has committed an infraction, which is very embarrassing, which has gone viral, not only in Nigeria, worldwide, and we know that it not only broke the regulation of the aviation industry, it also broke the constitution of the country, which said if you obstruct an aircraft in any aerodrome, whether on ground or in flight, you would be sent to jail. I thought they would have allowed that process to get to the legal conclusion. Then you can now come and pardon. Then after pardon, then you can now start thinking of whatever ambassadorship you want to give to him. But I'm not going through that process and throwing in that battle all within a week makes so much mockery of the system and does not assure that justice is fair to all. Okay. If Naomi Campbell, who had the same issue,
was banned for 5 years.
He was sent to prison and paid compensation to the police officers and airline staff that she kicked. Why would our own be different?
Exactly. Now, speaking of perception, do you think this was a PR stunt, this ambassadorial post, and what taste has this left in the mouths of publics?
Very sour taste, extremely sour taste. It just screams of incompetence, screams of lethargy, screams of condescending arrogance, to Nigerians as to the way we feel about these kinds of things, And when my brother here has so much confidence in the judiciary, I wish I could share the same confidence. All these people also it takes us back to what we used to learn, what used to teach us in UI, prependalism. So prependalism, is when you take characters, and reward them, for whatever role they have played in the jaundice political system. So what you lose is competence. You get me now? So end to end on the value chain in this particular industry, competence has been sacrificed. And that's why you see this kind of things.
And integrity too.
And integrity. That's why I see this kind of things happening. Like I already said, when I was coming here, I was thinking about Boy George. Remember Boy George? He used to be a very big megastar in the 80s.
The singer,
and he had a big problem in New York, and he was sentenced to clean the streets in New York. Because he was a misdemeanor, wasn't a major, he didn't go and hold down plane. But the fact that people could see him cleaning streets at the peak of his fame sent a very strong signal to the system. If KWAM1 was this one that they put in this jail for just that one night, everybody in this country, when they are getting close to airports, they will respect themselves. They will respect themselves. But what we have seen here is what has happened to this girl, is triggering, how will I call it now, civil disobedience. You get, people will feel that, look, let me to go to that place, do my own, and they take me to the jail too. You get, because what kind of a country is this? What kind of a country is this? And then to make matters worse, we now heard the voice note of this so-called legendary musician threatening the owner of the airline. I will deal with you. I will show you who is. You know, this is just it's a crash system. It's a total reflection of society, not only aviation system.
Yeah, I was going to say it goes
just
wider than
across
that.
board.
Okay, there's been a new twist now that has been just heard recently. Allegedly, we don't know whether it's a fact, but I just want to ask you how would you react if it is true that Comfort has now been asked to pay $2,500 for damages and also 100,000 naira for the damaged wig. So if it is true, what step would you take?
Thank you so much for that wonderful question. I think it reflected our foresight that the KWAM1's peace deal won't resolve the entire contradictions in the episode we have found our hands. We were addressing a press conference just yesterday, and just day before yesterday, and the pressmen were asking me, why do you see go far as filing a suit after she has been pardoned, she has been released, and all of that? I said, the drama won't end there. So this information we are having here, though we can't independently verify at now, but if it turns out to be true, shows that IBOM here has not given up on that matter. Because obviously it's clear that there are still grievances that Mr. Festus KWAM1 cannot, with just his slate of hand, resolve. There are deep industry issues that are underlining that you can't be an adjudicator, a minister, and a resolver all at the same time. You can't have your cake and hit it at the same time. So, it is the court of law. And when you come, the court of law itself is the constitutional umpire to determine and settle all these issues once and for all. So, the reality, if that is the case, then it justifies our legal action. I will still come to the question of the confidence in the judiciary, because a lot of journalists have been asking me since yesterday about that. So, can I go? Yeah, thank you so much. Now, about the confidence in the judiciary, I think we need to also be careful. Of course, the Canadian courts really helped us to hit the nail on the head that we are in a state of social terrorism. But there is a constitutional role assigned to the Nigerian judiciary. You should be invited to play that constitutional role. Then we must also be concerned about the state of the judiciary itself, in the sense that it has a whole lot of infrastructural limitations, incapacitated, under-equipped, and all of that. But in most often than not, we have seen even Nigerian judges also playing positive roles. So we are going to explore all options, because we are not going to take the anarchistic route. It's not our option anymore.
Okay, so let me ask now, in light of things that have happened during the day, how has staff been trained to handle difficult passengers calmly? And how has social media and the court of public opinion shaped the staff's responses to this incident?
Well, it's the responsibility of all airlines, the regulator and the agencies, which here we mean the airport, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, that they should train their staff regularly, and some are even certified.
But can they revisit?
Some are also certified on this. And documentation are even sent to the regulator after such training, that this training has been done and has come in line with the regulatory provision. But you see, one thing is to have the training, another is to see the implementation. What has happened this time around, that there was complete breakdown of communication between all layers. So everybody was trying to do their thing, how they can best handle it before the other party steps in. And it was that gap that we noticed in the two incidences. Now, and my fear is, look, if this can happen in Lagos and Abuja, who are the most popular and the best airports we have at the moment, what happens if we have such incidences in Akure, Benin, Calabar, Uyo?
That we don't even
hear
about.
We don't have enough. So there was pure communication breakdown. Look at the case of this of the lady. I was shocked to see the crew holding the door and backing that lady. So was it in that range she has pushed her? Both of them would have been injured. Because naturally, that door shouldn't have been open. If security have been, that door shouldn't have been open until when the security arrives.
Exactly.
And when the security arrives, it's now they now decide whether to take her out first or take her, or she'll be the last to disembark from that aircraft. So I don't know what happened. Again, when you look at the Wasiu incident, the door was closed, and you are at the foot of the begging him when the engine is on. At that point, he should have been bundled.
Yeah.
The same way Comfort was treated. He would have been bundled, handcuffed out of that place. You know, but to make some correction, the video that he was threatening the owner was before he realized his folly and started begging. Was before that.
Okay. But I want to ask, let me go to you, Edgar. What common airline complaints usually stand out? And could Comfort Emmanson's case have been de-escalated without police? Yeah, and also this issue of this turn off your phone or not turn off your phone. If you put it on airline mode, is it not the same?
I will not respond to that.
Okay, you can. I can send. Let him answer first.
You respond to the airline mode. But see, for me, what I've seen, based on because I'm a regular air traveler, what I've seen and from my own personal experience and with what is happening here is that we just carry touts and put inside plane and call them air hostess. From the beginning to
because
the
I heard about this particular. There's another video
it's
trending
true.
about
No. My sister, let me tell you something. See,
no, another video about this same air hostess.
Let's not talk about my personal experiences because that could be just my own word. Let's talk about what we saw.
Yeah.
On
Or common complaints that passengers make.
This video that we saw now, which a lot of regular air travelers, you get me now, would have experienced, maybe not to this level.
There was a video about this same air hostess where another client complained and said the plane had to go back because of her.
You see, what I'm seeing here now is roguery. Do you get me now? There is no properly trained professional in any industry that will do this to a client. Do you get me now? Whether it's a banker, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a air hostess, you get me now? What I see here now is not a failure of communication, Olumide. You get me now? This thing, we must call it what it is. It is roguery and thuggery. And it's stemming from the fact that there's a failure in recruitment in the first place, where you begin to carry your friends, your girlfriend, your uncle, your auntie, because they're looking for a job, you put them in the something. No matter how you train them, they will not have that natural proclivity for customer service. They say customer is always right. Do you get me now? There's no way in the world that I have seen, Olumide, that air hostess and ground staff will grab a passenger, even if no matter what that passenger do in this world. It is not their job. It is the job of security. Like I rightly said, they are supposed to lock the gates. Whenever a security people come, they pull back as going to handle them. And I tell you something, Ruth. Most people who die in car accidents in this country, if they don't die as a result of the injury, they die as a result of their handling.
The hospitals.
You get? At the hospitals, which is still comes from the same thing too. No proper training, no proper monitoring, no proper supervision. You get me? And there's no proper enforcement. You get me? Nothing will.
Or no consequences.
No consequences.
This leads me to my next question.
Yes, will happen.
The videos, a lot of it, obviously, we got privileged. We were privileged enough to see a lot of videos because they were posted online.
Yeah.
But you see that particular video that revealed her breasts obviously came from an AFSEC person or from the staff.
The airline crew who was on ground.
So the person was close enough, and all the person was interested in at that point in time
shoot that thing and
was to debase her as a woman. So what investigation is being done to find out where that root source came from?
If you look at the
and what disciplinary measures will be taken
if you
for
look
that?
if you take a look at the Honourable Minister's press statement regarding the withdrawal of the cases, that particular paragraph, there was a paragraph that addressed that, and he said he was appalled, and the same thing with the industry. We are not animals there. We also have dignity of life and for women, and also addressed that the staff involved should be investigated and consequent actions should be taken upon that staff. And I think that process is on. I am not sure who did that recording. It might not even be the airline crew. It might just be, like you said, it might even be the security men that joined in, or the ground staff that joined in bringing them.
They must get to the root of that.
But you can be sure that all those people came on board because she had become violent. She had started taking the aircraft equipment, which they are already suing for, to use in fighting. And if that equipment had been used, that aircraft would have been grounded, because it's a critical equipment for flight. So, and like your lawyer said, I'm wondering if the minister says, I didn't interrupt you, Joe.
Self-defense.
Joe, I didn't
Let
interrupt
him
you.
talk. Let him talk. Go ahead.
It's even very important.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, if the minister says all has been resolved, what about the multiple litigation against Ibom? Will they be able to control and stop the people from doing litigation, including the one that the lawyer is bringing up? So Ibom also has the right to fight and right to go to court and say, okay, some of these things were done to our people, and I need things to be resolved. But I know if they can do this for their own men, they can also help in all situations. Now, help the lady, help the airline, and let's all resolve this thing once and for all, equitably for everybody. But going to your question about switching off your phone, I remember as you wanted to start this program,
Yes.
you said switch off your phone.
Yeah, we'll put it on silent.
No, I heard switch off your
yes.
phone.
Either one.
That was the first one.
Either one works.
That was the first. Either one works, yeah.
Either one
Hold
works.
on, I know where I'm going. You technically said switch off your phone. That was
Yes.
what was you said.
Okay,
You didn't say,
yes.
you just switch off your phone. And the first person said airplane mode.
Yes.
The second person, we're just three. The second person said, take my phone and start and snap me. And the third person,
You don't need to ask who that was.
and the third person switched off the phone.
Yes.
Just imagine what's going to happen when you have the same people and they're over 46, over 100.
Yes.
Will you now start searching which one has his phone on flight mode? Before you know.
Yeah, but as long as you do
But
any of
see,
the two,
let me
doesn't
know.
really matter.
The law, you see, there's a law. You have to question.
Let him land now, Edgar.
The law says switch off your phone for that critical phase of takeoff and landing, not throughout the phase of the flight. But that's just critical moment of the flight, takeoff and landing. Switch off.
But how dangerous is it if you don't switch off your phone?
So, I'm coming. Switch off your phone. That's what the regulation says. Not put it in flight mode. It's not all phones that have in-flight mode. Not all phones. And it's not everybody that know how to put it in in-flight mode, even if it's there. You know, and it's not everybody that will do it. Again, why they say that? It's because that interaction with the cockpit. At that point, the cockpit needs that concentration to communicate with the equipment and with the tower. And interferences are just.
No, but can I just ask one question? Sorry to disturb. Switching off your phone and putting on airline mode, is it not the same thing? What's the difference?
Well, that's for the communication experts to say what the difference is. But the law and the industry says switch off your phone. That's the regulation. And if at any time that cockpit recording is taken, if there's any incident and that cockpit recording is taken, and they find out that the crew said put it on in-flight mode, then there's a problem for the airline. It was just like the last time when NIMET, that's the Institute of Meteorology, went on strike. The staff went on strike. And you know, most of the scheduled airlines refused to fly. But some smaller aircraft were flying, and they were querying the big ones. Why are you not flying? But the regulation says, because you know today, only on your phone you will see weather apps. Call an organization, they will give the correct weather situation. But the regulation says you must collect the weather report from NIMET. So if you don't collect your weather report from NIMET, if anything happens to you, whatever, then you get nothing. So the regulation is the regulation. If you want, it's wanted to have regulation, and that is okay. Oh, it's time to look at regulation and say, oh, we can be able to manage having a flight mode in it as part of the
as a lay person, because this is a bit over me. Abroad, they don't ask you to switch off your phone. In fact, you put it on airline mode, and then you use the phone during the flight to send messages. You use your phone during the flight.
You said abroad.
Well, but it's not the same airspace. Wait. It's not the same airspace.
I just told you about the regulation. The regulation here says switch off your phone.
No, but I'm just wondering that abroad they don't ask you to switch off your phone. You put it on airline mode and you use it to communicate. So, I mean, it's still the same airline space. It's not as if the air in Nigeria is different from the air over the world.
Like I said, nobody has said you should take it off, put off your phone.
No, but switch off your phone is the same thing now.
For the critical phase, switch off.
So wait now.
After takeoff,
you can put your.
Oh yes. Okay. Oh yes.
Okay.
You can use your phone throughout when in the flight.
You know, to answer
until when they tell you to put it off.
To answer this question, technology is different. So what they have abroad may not be what we have here. Do you get it? So you can do whatever you do abroad because they have capacity. We may not have that level of capacity. I know for a fact that when I traveled one day, I was going to one airport in this Nigeria and I ended up in another airport. and I'm asking, what am I doing here? They said, they said that this other airport, there's no landing equipment. It's vision, physical eye. The pilot is used to land. So when the pilot was going, he couldn't see the airport, so he took me somewhere else. At least in Nigeria. So when they say switch off your phone, box switch off your phone. Now, but the issue here now that should be discussed here now, it's not whether it's airplane mode or not. It's the reaction of the crew in that.
Yeah, that's what triggered the rules.
Good. So what I know for a fact is that in other countries of the world, and in some airlines in Nigeria, and this particular airline, I don't know what crime they're in this time around. You get, they can delay a flight for 1 hour for one person on this matter.
Yeah, because this same woman, a plane was returned back to his base.
Yeah, they can do
because the person refused to apparently to switch off the phone.
So what has happened here now? Like, because he keeps saying bring down commission. No, it is thuggery. Because
or maybe abuse of power.
Yeah, abuse of power. They could have said, this plane, we need to deboard this passenger. You get me now? We'll call aviation security, come and deboard this passenger. Many times we've traveled now, we've landed at Heathrow. They say, sorry, you cannot all come down because we're expecting police. There's a child abuser on the board. It has happened to me many times. You get, and we wait that police will come, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you get, and they will deboard that child, that person has a, whoever the person is here, and then for that goes. But this time we're 60 minutes late. But everybody understands because there's constant communication. So what is stopping that AOSS or whoever it is to inform the pilot, oh, we have a situation. Pilot now announces, oh, we have a situation with passengers. You get, we're not taking over to resolve this thing. You get, and at the end of the day, rather than do that, rather than behave professionally, do you get me now? You now go and pick up somebody.
We're going on a break. I'll return to you once we get back. So we're going on the break. Grab your cup of tea, as I always say, and see you right back. Welcome back to Perspective. So let's dive right into it. Now, Olumide, during the break, we were arguing about how this fight ensued. No, seriously, because the first video we saw was when the woman was standing, blocking her at the gate, and she was wearing her jacket. So if you can give us the sequence of events that now led to the blouse being stripped and the attacks. So what really happened? Starting from when the woman, which she wrongfully did, by even blocking her from leaving in the first place. So let's start from there. Give us his total sequence.
Look, there have been different versions.
Okay.
Well, the phone issue of put off the phone happened in New York.
No, forget, let's go past the phone issue.
Happened in Lagos. So if it happened in New York, you'll be wondering why was the security not called in New York and she was deported like
No,
Joe
we
said.
know it didn't happen in New York, so let's go forward.
Okay, now, if it happened in Lagos, what should have done next was, if they're not satisfied with that action, was to call the security to meet them at the foot.
But that's what they did now, isn't it?
To meet them at the foot of the aircraft. You ask for a sequence, not what actually happened.
Okay, yes, both sequence of what actually happened.
So to meet them at the foot of the aircraft. Now, if you look at all that come out from the passenger recordings I have seen, I have not seen anyone that said, because by virtue of what she was supposed to be sitting somewhere around the overwing. So as they were going out, there's no way she should have been the last person to disembark. So she have been part.
Yes, but there was a rumor that she went to the back.
Exactly. Then another story said she definitely went to the back, went to the toilet, went to use the toilet, and decided to wait to have a confrontation with the lady.
Okay.
Now, if they had called security and the security did not come on time, and they opened the door, then how did we get ourselves? Why did the security not respond to their call before they opened the door? And why did they open the door when the security was not around? Again, all the passengers...
No, but all the passengers are disembarked now.
Yes,
so they don't have to be open.
If you have called security for a passenger on board, then you don't open that door until the arrival of the security.
Oh, so they shouldn't have even opened the door. They should have allowed. They should have made all the passengers sit behind.
So now I'm saying some things happen in that cabin that might even be after the disembarking of passengers that thing started. Now, then going back to what we all saw was when the person covered the door, and she was wearing a full jacket, not the jumper. It was having a zip jacket, and was video that, see, I want to go out, they don't want me to go out. Then the next video we saw, nobody knew how that jacket went out of her body, that it remained only the jumper. But what we saw next was the jumper and the
So it was taken off either forcefully or she took it off herself.
At that point, that's the inner dressing alone.
We're not left with the inner dressing. So how did we come to have that inner dressing? And that same jacket was the same jacket she wore out of prison. When she was coming out the third day. So how did that jacket, and when she came out of the aircraft, she asked for only 2 things: her hair and her phone. That's the 2 things she asked for.
She has 2 phones. That's the jacket.
Yes, that's the jacket. That was the jacket. Yes, she asked for her hair and her phone. Those are the 2 things she asked for. She didn't ask for the jacket. So if you didn't ask for the jacket, you probably must have removed your jacket and kept it neatly somewhere. That's why it was not on the list of the things you were requesting for.
Okay.
That's my assumption. And if you notice, the lawyer said when you got to the point of asking for the jacket in the prison, that's when the prison would say, question time over, go inside. I find that hard to believe. Something is wrong somewhere.
Okay, I want to even ask you, Ayodele.
Thank you.
So I spoke to a few lawyers before I spoke to you, and some of them were saying that she didn't have any legal grounds to stand on because she was equally as aggressive and she was unruly and manhandled the staff more than they manhandled her. That's debatable. So based on that, can she really still sue, even though she too was a willing participant when it came to exchange of fisticuffs?
Of course, she has a reasonable course of action. No matter the misunderstanding between her and the air hostess, there is he is an industry professional. There is a standard procedure for de-escalating that kind of misunderstanding. That was thrown overboard. She was manhandled, she was rough-handled, she was molested, harassed. Even from the point
but
of...
the staff too can claim the same, that they were harassed.
They will join issues with her in the court of law. Okay. We're talking about her right of action. Okay. Does she have a right to initiate an action? That's the question I'm answering. Okay. You get it. So the point is, yes, she has a reasonable course of action. She can initiate that action in respect of molestation, harassment, intimidation, the way she was thrown off, even the way she was debased, human dignity, and the way she was, brought down in terms of her, humanity. And then even the manner of her arrest, the remand, even the manner, the entire episode of her arraignment, she can take a legal action on that. But beyond her, we foresaw this kind of evolution of this episode because as at now, she's still emotionally traumatized. She's been released now. She has been released on her Instagram page. How long was she in jail for? I think that should be roughly, let's say, 48 hours. Okay. So 12 to 13th and all that. So Sunday to Tuesday, right? Yes, she was released on Thursday or so. So now the point is this: we envisage this evolution, and that's why we took out a public interest lawsuit in which we joined all the state and non-state actors. And then the principal issue we are even concerned about is the scale of justice, the rule of law. How does that now mean? And that's why I joined KWAM1 into that something. And we're asking for other mandamus on the Procedural of police to arrest, arraign, and prosecute KWAM1. Okay. Because what that means is that if Emmanson can have her own bitter, sweet experience in jail, then why is KWAM1 walking the streets of Nigeria free? Okay. Are we now in the epoch where the criminal court has told us in a state of social terrorism?
No, it's busy playing the ambassadorial role.
But please, that will be on the latter note.
But let me
that means I can also go on armed robbery operation.
And you might be knighted. You might be knighted.
Ambassador of regulation of armed robbery.
But armed robbers have rights now.
But wait, let me even ask Edgar on another note concerning social media. Comfort has gotten numerous offers from men, not surprisingly. And surprisingly, she hasn't gotten from women. So men are offering her jobs, are offering her positions.
That would be a patriarchal question.
No.
Feminists will have issues with you.
No, but I'm wondering why. Because if you notice, no woman has come out to say, "Oh, I want you to come and do this."
But the
I want you to come and do that. Sorry?
The cabin crew has an offer too.
The what?
The cabin crew. She has an offer too.
Offer to do what?
For one of the professors. Professor Wangal, so who has promised to for our good behavior, ability to hold our emotional intelligence in place, and he offered to give us a pay compensation to the public crew.
Anyway, let's talk. So but in Comfort's case, how best can she change this narrative to her advantage without compromising herself as a woman? And what does this also say about gender bias on the larger picture?
Okay, so the first question I want to ask there, what what kinds of people are making this offer to her?
Of course, men are making all sorts of offers.
No. So what kinds of men?
Delta State
Does it
government
matter
has
what kinds
offered
of
that.
No. Because,
Dubai.
Let me explain. Let me explain where I'm coming from. So it tells you very quickly why these offers are being made.
Of course, that's
by these
the
kinds
underlying
of people.
yes.
Yeah. So you see the kinds of people who are making the offers and the kinds of offers that they are making. So for example,
Some of the offers are genuine though.
No, the Delta State one, is it from Delta State government itself or from this particular person? Is it Delta State government that's offering her the job or is this particular person offering her the job? But see, long and short of the whole thing is that we've always held it on this program that social media is very fickle. I don't take it very seriously. So this just goes in tandem with what social media is in Nigeria as of today. So the issue, you can see that...
I think she's had to close her page or something.
Yeah, so when this thing happened, most of the conversations on social media was on her anatomy.
Yes.
Not on this issue we're discussing
exactly.
here. So that's what drove it. So when people now come and make those kinds of offers on social media, it's on the back of that
show of shame.
Yeah, it's that show of shame. And then to also drive traffic their way. Now, I think that this comfort person should do a 360 turnaround of her person, who she is, what she stands for, what she represents in society. That's me not wanting to, I'm not casting any aspersions, I'm not saying anything, I'm just talking generally, because right now, she now has a platform. So you never can tell, you can't decide how you come into public limelight. The basic cooked our way to fame.
Yeah, but you can take advantage and turn it to advocacy.
And turn it to advocacy. Do you get
Which is what you're saying.
Yes.
So she can say, okay, something I would want to push for dignity of whatever I'm going forward. Or I think I was singled out for this kind of abuse because of the way these people saw me, rightly or wrongly. Do you get? So I would try to make whatever myself, I know that. But in latter mode, you said she came out, she asked for her hair and she asked for her phone. We know the cost of these things. If I were in a shoe, that's first immediately go ask for. With my phone, not the jacket. With my phone. Wait, they say some of those wigs is 6 million naira. So you cannot fight me, give me the wig and take me to jail with the wig. So it has to with the jacket. It's the cost of those things that were made out to...
Can I beat on that question?
Yes, go on.
You see, I think it's a question of gender too. And we live in a predominant patriarchal society.
Exactly.
That is the point. Women are mostly declassified as object of pleasure
and desire.
And that is exactly what many people drill on that basis. So your question that what is the driving force behind that patriarchal support for comfort is also very key. Because women naturally don't even have that point of solidarity. Because they have been.
That is what it's showing.
That's what
I would have thought by now,
because traditional voices
will come out and then
especially for someone like me who's a feminist, we will be surprised that May is a feminist. I'm a feminist socialist.
Yes,
you will discover that in the recent, women have been disempowered with their voices of solidarity. Just hold on. Of voices of solidarity, we on the class and gender basis with their kin. Because they have been heard about that. In fact, when I raised the issue among some very religious older women, they came down heavily on me. Let's call a spade a spade. The lady is unclad. She is, they were already, painting her with the same brush of all the unclad ladies on the streets. That she's improperly dressed.
How was she improperly dressed?
That's the fact that we confronted them with the testimony that she had a jacket, which, from all circumstances now being validated. She even put on that jacket after her release from Ogba Magistrate Court. So the point is, we have to also, come down on patriarchalism and all those traditional voices, and for women, working class women, to find their voices.
I saw Comfort Emmanson, and the charge was Comfort Bob. and the name on the charge was Comfort Bob, and I saw dated October, blah blah blah. If it's true, has that not bungled the case from right from
what used to happen
again? No, one more.
What are you asking about the change of name?
Yes, because the name on the charge list is different from the name of the passenger. So it's a wrong foot from the beginning. Again, are they supposed to take that case to the magistrate court? It was a federal incident. I don't know.
Thank you so much for those two beautiful questions. From my little experience of legal practice, given the emotional upheaval, that was surrounded that arrest, the manner in which she was arrested, most often than not, most arrested persons in that trauma will just give maybe 1, 2, 3 names. So in the rush, the prosecutor will just say, okay, what's exactly your name? You just say, I'm Comfort Bob. Emmanson, just say Comfort Bob and then write Comfort Bob. We have seen that often and often.
Okay, so it's a fault of the person writing.
Exactly.
Not necessarily.
Now, the question of where she was arraigned, ordinarily being a airport misdemeanor.
And date on the...
Yes, misdemeanor. She can be arraigned because all they wanted to just achieve was to remand her. On misdemeanor. They didn't arraign her on the question of possible aviation safety or something. Just on misdemeanor, and then we look at the charges.
I want to ask you,
magistrate court.
Who are you going to sue? Who are you suing?
Thank you
and
so
how
much.
much are you suing for?
Thank you.
I'm suing the date on the charge.
The date on the charge, of course, it also shows you the depth of the crisis in the judiciary, where you have that kind of something. October. But I think that should be the next adjourned date, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not.
Okay.
I can't.
But who are you suing? Who are you suing in particular?
My suit.
How much are you suing for?
I'm suing the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's the head of the federal government of Nigeria. The buck stops at his table. If we are passing this period of social opprobrium and Nigeria is being laughed at across the world, the buck stops at his table. Then 2, he's the Attorney General of the Federation. He has clear and constitutional duties assigned to him. A lot of journalists have been asking me, where is even the Attorney General of the Federation? It's not the Attorney General of Mr. President. It's the Attorney General of all of us. Because this issue really boils down to our aviation safety. Now, many people have said, since the charges have been dropped against Comfort Emmanson, why have you gone further to the court? What that means is that what is not the safety of you and I if we also climb aboard any aircraft in Nigeria? When we were pressing issues on Bamishe, I was counsel to the late Bamishe, the girl that died, that was murdered on the BRT case. Now, that is the key question. So, if a lady could be so murdered on that kind of a vehicle, public vehicle, what's the safety of all of us? That's the public interest issue. Now, the third person will join to that, the Federal Minister of Aviation. The fourth person is Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, as a national person, giving his own personal manifestation and initially on his ex-handle, the notoriety of his ex-handle in which it was circulating all kind of criminal charges against Comfort Emmanson. Then, of course, the Ibom here, governor of Akwa Ibom State, Attorney General of Akwa Ibom State, the owners of Ibom here. Then of KWAM1, Raji King, Wasiu Ayinde Marshal 1.
No, King, Ambassador King.
Oh no, okay.
Ambassador.
About the brand ambassador of aviation safety of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for that correction.
Thank you for the correction.
The value jet, the transaction between KWAM1 and value jet. Then of course, the Nigeria Correctional Services, who violated my own fundamental rights to expression and freedom of movement.
What about aviation securities?
NCAA and FAN too were all joined, and even Association of Airline Operators of Nigeria, who sat as a self-constituted court and adjudicator to impose a purported life ban, which they now claim they have withdrawn. Withdrawing what from what, really? It's like withdrawing nothing from nothing. They are all joined into that.
But how realistic do you see
billion naira damages?
How realistic do you see this coming to pass?
Thank you. We have.
I hope it's not one of those that is just going to be swept under the carpet after the heat has died.
We have a duty to fulfill. We have a duty to fulfill. And that
but considering how the legal system now, considering that the legal system, like every other system in Nigeria now, has been compromised, supposedly, do you really see this getting to the extent that you want to
I'm not trying to really rely on assumption. I think it would be assumptive to just conclude by whiff of fun that the courts is no road we should travel. I'm trying to, as a lawyer, to exhaust the legal system
And hope for your desired results.
And use the court of law as a theater. This is of course I'm with a thespian. The court itself is a theater. The court itself is a theater of of adjudication. It's a theater of public interrogation, in which Shakespearean and
Thank you so much.
Solutions.
I wish you had more time
to
pursue this discussion, but we have reached the end of the day. Thank you so much, Ayodele. Thank you so much, Edgar. Thank you so much, Olumide, for your very deep insight into this debacle that we're facing at the moment. So when privilege shields one and punishes another, the message is clear. Justice is not blind, it is selective. The Comfort Emmanson and KWAM1 cases force us to ask, in Nigeria's skies, whose wings are protected and whose are clipped? This is a litmus test for how Nigeria treats its citizens when status and influence enter the cockpit of justice. As I keep saying, remember that life is a learning curve. I am Ruth Osime, and thanks for watching Perspectives, where we don't just report the headlines, we read between the lines. See you next week.